Okay. Yeah, so great job with the posts. So a lot of you said that it started at 6:50. It looks like pretty much everybody. And Evan, I know he did an eyeball and he said about 6:45. And if we look at it, you know what? It could be 6:45. So it's really close. So either way, really good number sense. 6:40, 6:50, 6:45. We know it's somewhere between 6:40 and probably 6:60 if we look at where this starts, right? So that's how high our balloon is. Our balloon is up at an altitude of 660 meters or something. So good job, you guys. And then let's see. So many of you guys said that, and I'm glad you put the minus in front of your slope. So Ashley, you have a -2. Donnell, you have a -20, and Kiona has a. Oh, although Kiona, I think you might have flip-flopped your slope and your y-intercept. It looks like. Remember that your slope is how much does it go down per second, right? So our x-axis is seconds. So Ashley said it goes down by 2 meters every second. And I guess I think Kiona, you meant that it goes down by 20 meters every second. I think you just have those flip-flops, all. Donnell, I think maybe because of Kiona up here, you have the same thing, but I think these are, oh, you switched. Okay, you think it goes down by 20 meters, although you have a plus in front of your 20, so I think you just mixed up your signs, right? Because it didn't start at -650, it started at a positive height of 650. So Donnell, that was good that you thought about switching it, but I think your signs are just backwards. So Evan, same with you. You have your starting height next to your x. So that's saying that it's going up by 645 meters every second. I think you just wanted to switch those. So Donna, I know you're typing. And then Janae, you're just missing your x in there.
I'm still typing.
Oh, you're still typing? Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. You're still missing your x in there. And I'm going to refresh it because I know that Ashley has worked hers all out in there. And Dustin, look at yours as well. Okay, so you put the initial height by the x, which means that is your rate of change, but I think you meant for the -20 to go in front of the x. Okay, so Evan, you're exactly right. You found where it ended for 6:45, and then you found your rate of change. So that's awesome, you guys. Really good. Really good. So let me refresh your discussion post so then we can look at what Ashley did for her explanation because I know she has all this worked out stuff going on here. So let's check it out. So what Ashley did, and this is a really good technique, and this is in some of your practices, this is the 3-step technique for writing a linear equation. The first step is to find your slope. So if you want to do it algebraically, you have pick any 2 points, and you can pick any 2 points you want. And if you guys think about this, it's a linear equation, so between any 2 points you'll get the same slope. Oh yeah, Dustin, you're good. Yeah, I flipped that. So Donnell, you just, were you right is your question. I'll answer that real quick. So the only thing is your signs aren't right, but it was good that you flipped it. But you are saying that you're starting at a -650, but I think what you meant was that you're starting at a positive 650, and then that you go down by 20 each time. Is that what you meant? Okay, that's what I was thinking you probably did. But yeah, good job switching that too. And it's easy to flip those, you guys. But anyway, so if we go back and look at kind of Ashley's calculations here, so she picked 2 points. It looks like she picked the 5 and the 640, this first one, and then she picked the second one, the 15 and the 620. So when she found the slope, she did y2 minus y1, so she did 620 minus 640 divided by x2 minus x1, so she did 15 minus 5. Well, that gave her a -20 over 10, and -20 divided by 10 is actually -2. So perfect. So that is actually the rate of change, and it is a little bit confusing. Some of you guys, you said 20, and that's why I gave this to you, is I knew that you guys were going to say 20 because you looked at the change in y, and typically we've always looked at the change in y. But notice that our x's don't go down by 1 each time, they go down by 10 each time, right? So our y's go down by 20, but our x's go down by 10. So we have to divide those out to figure out our rate of change. So Ashley, you're exactly right with the -2. So the -2 means it goes down 2 meters every second, right? And again, this is a difficult one because it doesn't have the same rate of change in our x intervals. Okay, and then what we did here then, so now we have our equation y equals mx plus b. So now she knew that m was a -2, and she put that in place of m. And then she picked one of her points. So she picked the 5 and the 640 to plug in. So she put the 640 in place of y, and she put the 5 in place of x, and then she just solved for b. So 5 times -2 is -10. Okay, and then she added 10 to both sides and got 650 as her y-intercept. So that was the starting height. So really good job, Ashley. Very nice calculations. And good, you guys, really good ideas. Just make sure that you always put your rate of change next to your x, right? Because your rate of change is how much you go down per whatever x is, per second. Okay, so be careful of that. And this is a really great exercise because these are some of the things that I see on you guys' practice. So I just wanted to make sure that we could kind of figure this out. And Evan, that is actually one technique, is just kind of eyeballing it. And look at how close you were just eyeballing it, right? And the hard part for you and for really for everybody was the 20. You know, if you guys are only looking at the change in y, you would say 20. But then sometimes if you have a change in x that doesn't go up by 1 every time, you have to make sure to look at that. So nice job, you guys. Really great participation. I'm proud of all of you. Any questions about this discussion at all? Yes, yes. All right, so Dustin is a no. Okay, good. And so now you guys can definitely start writing in your note pods if you want. So one thing I wanted to show you guys really quick is your discussion from week 11. And I put, and some of you guys probably didn't think about it because you're not there yet, or you are past this point and you didn't go back. But I put comments on all of the discussions of people that needed to still go back, and there's a lot of you guys. So remember our discussion from last week with the distance between the poles? You guys were supposed to figure out between which two poles was it the steepest. And a lot of you, remember, said between A and D, but we are looking at it successively. So is that between A and B, B and C, or C and D? So I didn't want you to say between A and D because obviously, the steepest, that is the beginning and then the end. But I wanted you to kind of go back, and Kiona had gone back and said between C and D, and then she said Y. I also wanted you to respond, like Ashley went ahead and responded to Kiona, so that was awesome. But there's some of you guys that didn't actually go back and change your answer, and then some of you who didn't respond. So Donnell, you still need to pick 2 poles in a row. Don't skip, so have a new guess, and then reply to somebody else's. Okay, and then Janae, you actually, you went back in, but go ahead and reply to somebody else's too. This is in week 11. This is in week 11. So yeah, if at the very end, if you guys want to do that, that'd be great. But notice that I didn't give some of you guys grades, like Dustin, you don't have a grade yet. And it's just because you, I wrote you a comment. You must pick 2 polls in a row. Don't skip. Also, you still need to reply to another post with a question or something you learned, or even a new answer is fine. So you guys make sure that you do that. I'm trying to get the people who are here today. So Evan, it looks like you did an initial post, but 20 and 100 is between A and D. So Evan, you want to make sure to go back in and change your answer, and then see if you can respond to somebody else's question or something you learned. Okay, you guys, so is everybody clear about that? And that's why you don't have a grade yet, is because you just didn't complete it. So those of you guys that didn't complete it, that's what you need to do to complete it. So, and again, sometimes it's really easy to forget because you're not there yet or you've moved on. All right, you guys, very good. Let's go and see what we're going to do today for the rest of the webinar. Nice job on the discussion, though. What we're going to do today is we're going to actually determine the steepest slope between 2 points from our week 11. So I actually made a graph of that, and I'm going to show it to you, which will also make it easier for you guys to respond too, because maybe you can respond with something you learned from our discussion today. We're also going to practice finding key points still on a graph and determine equations from a graph. I feel like that's really where we're the weakest, and that's one of the areas that's really the most important for understanding. And then let's talk really quick about what to do during the fall break. So we were having that discussion. So next week is your fall break, and you guys will have no work assigned to you in any of your classes. Yay, yay. But here's the thing. So if you are not at week 12, what I would do then next week, what would you do? Yes, good job, you guys. I would catch up, right? Because you have no work, so you're not getting behind. So if you're not at week 12, you're not in quarter 2, work to get caught up. Because then when you come out of the fall break, and think about the fall break, you can casually on your own time, when you get up and have some tea, you could be on your computer, you could be doing some work, and you could get some things done. And then when you come back, you'll be caught up and you'll feel so good. Oh, very good. Go to Starbucks, hang out. I did go to Starbucks yesterday.
I always go to Starbucks and work on my computer.
See, this is good. This is good. And it's a very nice, comfortable place as long as you're in Coke. It's always cold in there.
Yes, oh my god.
It's always cold. So anyway, you guys, that's what I would do during your fall break is really work to get caught up. And the other reason too is that when fall break is over, it is November, right? It is like into November. And then it's only a couple weeks till Thanksgiving. And then it's only a couple weeks till the end of the quarter. And before you know it, with all these holidays, it'll be vacation again, Christmas vacation. And then you'll be like, oh no. So what I would do is definitely, even though there's no new material assigned, don't think of it like, oh, I'm going to take off and do nothing. Just think of it as a casual time to get caught up. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? You guys are good? All good? All right. So here we have, this is that webinar from week 11, actually, but I just wanted to pull it up. So here's what I did, you guys. So pool A is at a horizontal distance of 20 and a vertical distance of 30, right? So I graphed it. So I made a little graph for you guys so you could see. So this is pool A, okay? And this next dot is where pool B is, okay? And then we have, my thing is jumping all around. So pool C is right here, and pool D is right here. And Dustin is coming back in. Okay. So you guys, in your note pods, so I know you guys have your note pods right now, so be prepared. And Dustin, you're back in, so take a note pod because I don't see your name on a note pod. Evan, I don't see your name on a note pod either. And there's also a note pod right underneath my picture in case you guys run out. Ashley, you got one. Kiona has one. Janae has one. Donna has one. Good. Okay, so somebody in student 6 does not have their name, but put your name. So take a notepad, put your name. So Evan, put your name in one. And Dustin, put your name in one. Okay, good. Evan, perfect. And then Dustin, do you want to take 6? There's 2 6s, actually. There's a 6 up, up high. And then there's a 6. Oh, you're good down low. Okay. So Tashana, you can have the student 6 up above if you're actually in the webinar because we haven't heard from you. So you guys look at these poles. So picture these poles. And I just do a straight line. This is called a line of best fit that just kind of averages right down the middle. So for you guys, between which of these 2 poles, and type in your notepad, do you think is going to be the steepest? Between A and B. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll make some lines between these poles. Okay, and I'll just do some dotted lines so that we can not interrupt our main thing. So we've got A and B right here, right? And then we have between B and C and C and D. Put between what 2 poles do you think is the steepest? Right? This is a chairlift, and this is how it's going up. So write that in your notepads. So Kiona is already writing. Very good. Dustin has already written. Awesome.
Does it have to be like A and B, or can it be letters?
As long as they're in a row. So it's either between A and B, B and C, or C and D are your 3 choices. It has to be between one of those. So just put between which ones. So Kiona, good. You put which ones, and then you even put an explanation. Very good. And Dustin is doing his explanation. Awesome. Okay. Donnell. Evan, what do you think? Ashley is typing. Okay, good. Janae, you're doing good. Donnell, so I just haven't seen you. Put in any explanation. All right, so a lot of you guys. So Evan, just it's okay if you don't have an idea. Just make a guess. What do you think? Just choose either A and B, B and C, or C and D. Because you did really well on your other guess. It came out really well. So what do you think on this one? Think of it this way: you have a 33% chance of getting your guess right. Donnell, you're not typing anything. Are you still with us? Are you with Tashana? You and Tashana out to lunch? All right, Evan, good. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so we got a lot of B and C's. So, are you changing your mind, Evan? No? Okay. Well, leave your guess. Leave your guess. Put your guess back. It's fine. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's look at some of the reasons. So, Evan, I know maybe why we're doing, come up with some reason. Like, why do you think B and C? I know you maybe it was just a guess, but maybe they're, visually it looks like it. And we'll just assume Donnell is no longer in the webinar. Donnell and Tashana, they've disappeared. All right, so okay, so let's read Ashley's. Ashley says because B is increasing more than the A to B and C to D. Okay, good. So you're looking at slope. Are you looking at slope? Perfect. Kiona says because from B and C it goes up, and from C and D it goes downwards. Okay, so you're looking at it actually as also decreasing too, just a different way of explaining. Very nice. And then Janae's still working on it. So Dustin, you say B. You're done? Yeah. Okay, so we'll come back to you though. So Dustin, B and C, because from B and C the vertical distance goes from 35 to 60. So that goes up 15. So it's a greater vertical distance. Oh, very nice. So you're looking at the actual coordinates. Very good. And then Evan said because from the B to the C it goes up. So again, Evan, it looks like you're looking at slope, which is great. And then Janae, because it starts from 30 and it goes up to 60. Okay, so Janae, the only thing is you're looking at A to C when you look at from 30 to 60.
No, I would, well,
but that's fine.
Almost 30.
So that's fine. So you were trying to estimate.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. So good. So you're actually looking at the numbers too, which is
like,
perfect. No, that looks good. So you guys, good job. You guys, really, that is exactly what I wanted you guys to think of. So there's two ways you can look at this, right? The line is steeper from B to C. So visually, you can see that it's steeper. And then if you get into the algebra, which is eventually where I want you guys to kind of think about, if you look at the change in our x values, right, these are all going up by 20 for the most part, right? That's 20 to 20. This is 20 to 20, except for that here, it's a much bigger amount, 40, okay? If we look at the change in our y's, this one goes up 5, this one goes up, what is that, 25? Do my mental math. And this one goes up 10. So if you can think about it, going from A to B is not really that steep, right? Because we go up 20, or we run 20, I should say, and we rise 5. So that's not that steep. If we go from B to C, we're still running 20, but now we're going up 25. That's a pretty big jump. And the only thing is trying to figure out between 60 and 100, we rise 40, but we only go up 10. And for such a big rise, we actually went down back to 10 compared to the 25 there. So you can do that. The other thing you can do is you can calculate the slope, right? So between A and B, so if we go from A to B, our slope is going to be rise over run. So our slope is just 5 over 20, right? From B to C, we could calculate the slope. Perfect, 25 to 20. Thank you very much, Ashley. Very good. And then our final one from C to D, awesome, 10 over 40. And in order to really know, if we divided this out, we would get 0.25, I think. And if we divided this one out, we would get 5 over 4, which is, what is that, like 1.25 or something? Oh, the 10 I got from here up here, Janae. So the vertical distance between 60 and 70 was 10. And then so 10 divided by 40 is also 0.25. And now you guys, since this is an actual problem, this is more like a rate of change. So if this is in feet, can't really tell, but we'll just assume it's in feet. Or maybe it should be meters, right? So meters over time. So this would be 0.25 meters per second, we'll just say. Make that up because I don't see what the units are. Okay, so always put your units. So you can see right away that B is definitely going to be the steepest, right, at 1.25 meters per second. Or meters per, I don't know if it would be per second. What would it be? Actually, it shouldn't be per second. Meters per meter, maybe, something like that. So actually, it wouldn't be seconds because we're not looking at speed. It would be meters per meters, we would say. Anyway, any questions on that, you guys? Any questions? Just like physics. Oh, I know, all the units. But you know, you guys, the big picture here is always, you can always graph things. So, you know, I look at this question and everyone was confused. If you just graph those points and connect a line between them, it's easy to see which one is steeper. If you know your math, if you're good with your algebra, you can calculate slope between each point. All right, so good job. But you're getting better. Don't sell yourself short, you're getting better. All right, you guys, so we're gonna just wrap up with a couple of quick things. So in your notepads, go ahead and just number 1 through 5. We're gonna do another one of these. These are really good. You guys can, or you can just type below. It'll extend if you guys type below, or you can get rid of your things. So go ahead and just type 1, comma, 2, comma, or however you guys want to do it. Like Ashley, you can do it with a colon, or like Kiona, you just do a 1 and then. Yep, 1 through 5. All right, you guys. So we did this last time, and so you guys are going to be experts. So very nice. All right, Evan. So just Evan and Dustin, number 1 through 5. 1 through 5. We are wrapping up with this. We'll make this be our last one. There's another one, but we'll just end with this one today. And then actually next time we'll probably run through some review of lines and things like that. Slope intercept. Uh-huh.
How do you always find a point on a photograph like this? You just pick one?
You can pick any point you want. Yep. In fact, we can pick, like if you look, we could pick, I pick something that's easy though, like 10, comma 1200, because that's right on the crosshair. Like if I picked the 8, that would be hard because when I go up, I'm like, what is that point? What's in between 800 and 1200? I think it's 1,000, but it's easier to make a mistake because you have to kind of figure out that, yeah, it goes up by 200s, but if there's not, I mean, and sometimes you may have to estimate. Sometimes you may have to be like, oh, I think I want 4.5 and I want 650. You know, you could definitely do that, but it just makes it harder. All right, you guys. So Dustin, I don't see your numbers. All right, you guys, so see if you can answer these questions. So number 1 is write the y-intercept, right? And so you can look at it completely visual. So Evan, you've got this. This is visual math here. Write the y-intercept. And when you guys, here's the challenge for you. When you're writing the y-intercept, write it as a coordinate point, right? So when you're writing it as a coordinate point, you want to write it as 0, comma, something, right? That's how you write your y-intercept. So coordinate point. So don't just give me a number, because what I'm also seeing too in some of your practices is you guys are getting the y-intercept or the x-intercept, but you're just flipping the 0, and then that becomes a problem because, well, you know, then you get the wrong one. All right, you guys, quick write it. Write your coordinate pair. Good, Kiona, good. And then, so then go on to number 2, and then just look at the graph. Does it have a negative or does it have a positive slope? Good, Kiona, good. Yep, just the y-intercept. What is it going through? It's going through 0. Oh no, you're only writing the y-intercept, not the whole linear equation.
So,
So what point is the line going through on the y-axis? So think about where the line intersects the y-axis. So the line is going to intersect the y-axis right here. I made a point there. What are the coordinates of that point? Okay, good, but it's actually 200, Julie. Yeah, it's right in the middle. You got it. No, that's good. Okay, so that's the first one. And then is this a negative or positive sloping line? All right, good. And then once you have that, so Evan, are you good? Because I've noticed you didn't type anything. Do you understand? Evan, we don't want to lose you.
number 3 for finding the slope in here, probably.
Oh, Donnell is gone.
So negative is going down.
Negative is going down. Which one are you talking about, actually, for number 4?
3.
Oh, no, number 3 is just the slope, so it's just m. So you could actually look at the graph, and you could find the slope by counting your rise over your run.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you guys, for number 3, Ashley brought up a good point. How do you do that? You can look at the graph, and you can just calculate rise over run. And then once you have your slope and your y-intercept, you can write the equation of the line. So no algebra needed. You just fill in the m and you fill in the b. Okay, and then the hardest part of this in reality is number 5. What does the y-intercept and slope mean in your own words? So in y equals mx plus b form, and you already know m, right? Because slope is m, so I'll write this up here. So slope was m, and you already have your y-intercept, that's your b, and that was from number 1. So when you write the equation of the line, y equals mx plus b, you're just going to pull what you got from number 3, put that in place of m, and then pull what you got from number 1. Whatever you got for b. What did you get from your y-intercept? 0. So the number is 200. Yep, that's just the location of your y-intercept. It's at 0, 200. Okay. So good. So Donnell has left. Ashley's almost done. Dustin, you're on number 3. I see. Evan, you need to go to number 2. Kiona, you are almost done. I see. And Janae, you are on number 3. It looks like. So on number 3, Janae, all you need is the slope. So it's just the rise over the run. What is the rise and what is the run? The run is how, so what you do is you pick 2 points on the line. Okay, so any 2 points, so like here, I'll make 2. Yeah, you could, or you can do like these 2 points between those, because then it's shorter, you don't have to reduce. And you would just figure out, okay, so here's my run going this way, right? Here's my rise going up. So based on where it started, right here, what is that, what number? Good, so it actually started on 200. So put that there. So our rise, how much did it go up between 200 and 400? So how much is that total? Yes, good. And then how much is your run? So you started on 0 and you went. So think of your run as your x values, right? So right here is 0, and you went over here to this number 2. Good.
So that's the run.
The run is, yep, your x, left and right. Think of like when you run.
So 2. So that is my answer, 2.
Well, your answer is going to be, it's going to be both, right? It's going to be, well, it's not 400, but we'll go over it too, so don't worry. But it's going to be your.
You stopped at 400.
That's true. But we're looking at the how much it rose up. So you started at 200, and then you rose up to 400. How much distance was that? Yeah.
So it's 2, you say?
Well, no. Well, okay. So what is 400 minus 200?
400 minus 200 is
100.
Oh, 400 minus 200 is minus?
Well, or you could say, what do you have to add to 200 to get to 400?
2.
Just 2? 200. Yeah, I think that's why you're maybe thrown off. So yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Dustin and Evan. Let me see. So Ashley. Okay, so Ashley, very good. But okay, so let me look at Kiona's too, because I'm gonna have. Okay, so both you and Kiona. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do for number 5, right? Because I know you guys can do it. You told me mathematically you were exactly perfect what the y-intercept and the slope meant. It was awesome. So what I want you to do now is look at this graph. Notice what our variables are, right? Volume and time. And you tell me what the y-intercept means in terms of volume and time. And tell me what the slope means in terms of volume and time. Do you see on the side, like on the left? Here, I'll highlight it. I'll do a little highlighting.
Okay.
You guys see that? So Kiona, do you guys see that? I'm giving you the bonus challenge here. Volume is here. Time is down here. And you guys, I want you to take your math to the next level. You guys got this. So what I want you to do is to try to figure out, what does the y-intercept actually mean in terms of volume and time. So, you know, because if I didn't know anything about math, say I was like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Is it 2,000 or 200?
It is 200.
Because other people have 2,000. You're talking about despite the
Oh, no, I think it looks like 2,000. Despite the what?
Despite the problem it's going into, so you're on that?
Yes. Okay. Yes. You can even, if it's easier to even give me like a sample of.
So this is 5? Or do we have to put 5 in our own words?
Oh, this is 5. Yeah. So see if you can put 5 in your own words. If you can only do it mathematically, that's okay. But it's just like describing, so there's no calculations. It's just, what does the slope, what does the y-intercept mean?
I wrote it down.
It's okay, Janae. Just kind of think about it, and then what does the slope mean? Okay, and if that's all, well, no, that is slope. M is slope. So if that's all you can put, that's okay. All right, Dustin, you're lagging behind.
And then,
where are you?
And then the y-intercept, doesn't that stand for the y? What stands for the b?
The b is your y-intercept. Oh. It is one and the same. Oh. It's kind of weird they name it b, huh? Since it's the y-intercept.
Well,
that's fine. Okay. You know what? That's totally fine.
So m means slope.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, guys. So. Adding by 2. Wait, let me have to read your thing. All right, guys, I'm going to start reading. Evan, you didn't quite finish, I noticed. And Dustin, you were MIA all of a sudden. Okay, so we'll look at Ashley's. So she says that the y-intercept is 0 to 100. Kiona said that. Janae said that. Evan said that. Dustin said that. All are exactly correct. So the y-intercept is right here where the line intersects the y-axis, and it intersects it at 200. But the coordinates for that point are actually 0, 200, right? Because we didn't go anywhere for x, but then we went up 200 for y. So good job, you guys. Okay, so is the slope positive or negative? So Ashley said positive, Kiona said positive, Janae positive, Evan positive. Oh, everybody's positive. Very good. So it goes And the upward direction from left to right. We always read graphs from left to right, and you guys are exactly right. It is positive. Okay, number 3, find the slope. Find the slope. So we have a slope of 200 from pretty much everybody, it looks like. And, oh, Evan, and you said 2,000 because of where it ends. Okay, so slope, so Evan, think about this. Slope is rise over run. So this is what I was kind of typing out here for Janae. So if we look at rise over run, this rise here goes from 200 to 400. So that's 200. So this is how we get slope, Evan, okay? So that's our rise. But then we have to look at our run. Well, if we go from 0 to 2, that's a run of 2. So calculating my slope from this point, I get 200 over 2. So you guys that said 200, you just did the same thing as you did on the other problem. You just didn't consider the change in x, right? Because these don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. If it did, if this went from 0 to 1, then your slope would be 200. But your slope is 200 over 2, which is 100. So your slope is actually 100. So really close, you guys, really close. Just don't forget about the change in x. Let's say I want to pick 2 different points, because say I didn't pick that. So Evan, you looked at this point right here, right? And let's just say we picked a point here. Oh no, let's not do that one because it's not on a crosshair. So you can pick any point you want, and I could pick that one. It'd just be then I have to figure out what some of the other points are. So let's say I pick, I don't know, let's just say I pick this point right here, 1200. Okay, so if I look at my rise, so I go from 1200 up to 2000, and then I go over. So from 1200 to 2000, what is that, 800, guys? Yeah, yes, okay, good. I have to get my mental math or Ashley's big calculator out. Very good. Okay, and then my run, so my run is here at 10, and then I run over to 18, so that's a run of 8, right? It changes by 8. It starts at 10, which is right here, and it runs over to 18. So if I looked at my slope here, I'm going to get a rise of 800 over a run of 8. If I divide 800 by 8, I still get 100. So it doesn't matter which 2 points you pick, but it's always going to be rise over run and then reduced. So Evan, how do you feel about that slope? What do you think? Evan, are you there? You can talk if you want to, Evan. If you want to enable your microphone, you can. Dustin, also, what about you? Which part today?
How do you do 8?
Oh, because so right here, this point right here where my pointer is, that's at 10, right? If I come down here, see how it's 10 right here?
Mm-hmm.
And then if I run over to where my point is on the line, it changes to 18. So what did I have to add to 10 to get to 18?
4?
If I added, well, if I add 3 to 10, that would give me 13. So if I add 8 to 10, do I get 18?
Is it 18?
Well, see, I start at 10, and I need to get to 18.
From 10 what to the 18, if you add,
Yeah.
so 10 plus 8.
Yes, Kiona, that is exactly the slope. Good. And Evan, you're good?
But how do you do, is that 800?
800. Okay, so think about this. I started at 1200, right? I'm going to circle it, okay? And then I went up here to 2000. So what did I have to add to 1200 to get to 2000? And that would be 800. So 1200 plus 800 gets me 2000. I can also think of it as 2000 minus 1200 because that's your change in y, y2 minus y1, and that gets you that 800 too.
So you just have to pick a point?
Just pick any 2 points you want. So I picked this purple point here and this purple point here. But you and I picked these points down here, and those worked the same also because I still got 100.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which points. So you guys, now the equation of the line is really easy. The equation of the line is going to be, all right, so Ashley, it looks like you just left off your y-intercept when you did your equation of the line. Because you have the y equals 200x.
Yeah.
Kiona. Oh, there you go. And you did it too, Kiona, I think. Janae, you wrote y equals mx plus b. You just need to plot those in. So you guys, so once you have, the nice thing about number 4 is that once you have m and b, and we have that, you already have the equation of the line, right? So it's going to be y equals, what did we say our slope was? 100, right? Over here, right? Our slope is 100, our rise over our run. And you can see, like, Kiona wrote it in the discussion there, or the chat. So 100x, and then what did we say our y-intercept was? Where does it cross the y-axis? 200. Good. Very good. Okay, so we already have those answers, right? Number 1, we said that b was 200. Okay, and then number 3, we said our slope was 100. So we already have those numbers, we just plugged them in. All right, you guys, final thing, the most difficult. What does the y-intercept and slope mean in your own words? All right, so we'll go ahead. Kiona is still typing. Okay, so y-intercept means it is adding by 200. So actually, I think what you mean is you were thinking of slope. Anytime you add by a certain amount, that's your slope. So your y-intercept is just your starting place. Okay, and then I'm going to help you guys put it into words of non-math. And then Kiona, did you type an explanation? The y-intercept meaning where x is 0 and y-intercept is 200. That's perfect. And the slope is the time. Oh wait, you're still typing. Time in which is 100 because the growing or decreasing number. Okay, good. So Kiona, you did a good job. You described your slope. You described your y-intercept. Perfect. And now let me help you guys because I want you to interpret this graph, right? Because it's volume over time. So if you think about if volume is increasing, maybe we're filling something up. So if we're filling something up, how much, let's just say it's a cup of water. So you guys, how much water was in the cup before we started filling it up?
Are you talking about
Just like looking at this graph, if this was a graph, because it's volume over time. So we're obviously adding volume to something over time, right? So we're filling something up. So say we're filling up a big glass. So how much water was in the cup before we started pouring? Okay, you guys, anyone give me a guess? You can give me a guess in the chat if you want. What do you guys think? 200. So over here at Central.
But you said a cup, so I was thinking 2
Oh.
tablespoons to cup.
No, I was thinking it's a really big cup. But if you look at the graph, where does the line start? At 200. Exactly. So that 200 is how much was in our cup before we started pouring. Okay, so that is how you interpret the y-intercept in your own words. You say the amount of liquid in the cup before the volume started to increase, right? Or you could say, if we were pouring water, we would have 200 liters of water in our cup before we started to pour more in. Okay, so that's how you interpret the y-intercept. So let's think about what slope means in our own words, you guys. So how fast are we filling this cup up? Okay, so not your total time, but just like in general, like per every minute, how fast are we filling it? Each minute, how much volume do we add?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13.
Well, so think about.
Isn't the bottom the time?
The bottom is the time. Good.
So every 2 minutes, yeah.
Very good. Very good, you guys. So every 2 minutes we add 200 liters, right? So we could then say that every minute we add how many? 100. Exactly. Perfect, you guys. So this is how you would interpret slope. You would say, well, our volume is increasing by 100 liters every minute. We are pouring 100 liters every minute into this cup a very big cup. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the time is supposed to match with the volume.
Yeah,
The
and
volume.
yeah, exactly.
So
And it's constant. So you guys, how much volume do we have in there after 18 minutes?
2,000.
Exactly, we have 2,000, right? So we just figured out that we're adding 100 liters every minute, and it's 18. That is actually a lot. I probably should say like we're filling up a bucket instead of a cup, but bad visual on that one. Anyway, you guys, so we'll do another one next time. We're going to do lots of practice. These are really good to know how to do and interpret. So any questions for today? You guys did an awesome job of participating. Awesome job on this. You guys will get better every single time. Any questions? Evan, Dustin, how are you guys over there? Are you guys all good? All right, awesome, you guys. Well, thanks for coming and have a good week of catching up and no new material. And then I'll see you after that, and we'll try some more. See you guys later. Did I hit the